This is 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 through 17. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? And what concord have Hamashiach with Belial? Or what part have he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement have the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power. As the Most High hath said, I will dwell in them, and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, HaKodash, Yahweh being the true name of who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai being the true name of who the world calls Jesus Christ in the Paleo Hebrew, and the Lashuan Kodash, the Holy Tongue. Bahashem means in the name, and the Racha Kodash is the Holy Spirit, which the Lord is sending down in these last days upon his priests and prophets and men of the Lord to edify and feed the sheep and lambs of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in these last days. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings to all you brethren that are out there preaching his word in all sincerity and truth. To the 144,000, the house of David, Shalom. It's the brother Dama Agabar here from GMS Los Angeles with another lesson, Lord willing to edify and warn you Jake out there, all right? And this is a lesson I'm doing just dealing with being unequally yoked together with unbelievers, all right? And as I brought out yesterday in camp in Psalms, the 101st Psalm, King David held that same sentiment. All right. So you brothers should not feel bad when we don't want to have any fellowship and be separated from the people of this world, from 2/3 of our own people who are not in this truth, who are not, walking in the fellowship and righteousness with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now, of course, the scriptures tell us if it be at all possible to be at peace with all men. That's fine. You see 2/3 Jake, 2/3 of your family. You speak, you be cordial with them, but ultimately we're separated from them, man. All right. Meaning that we don't have any agreements with them. We're not bringing them into our household. We're not bringing them amongst the brotherhood. We're not, fellowshipping with them and gathering with them, you know, in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because they're disconnected from the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We're only amongst those that are like-minded, those that are in this truth, those that are walking in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. But the rest of our people, man, hey, they're just not welcome to come amongst us, because ultimately, they're of the world. They're still defiled, man. They're unbelievers. They're filled with all manner of wickedness and leaven from this world. They're not fit to be among us, because they're not walking with us. They don't believe what we believe. They don't honor what we honor. They're totally in this world and defiled, and basically still filled with a lot of demons and evil spirits, and they should have no fellowship among us. Now, if they come into this truth, that's a different story, but they have to prove themselves first. So there's nothing wrong with that, man. That's why we don't, you know, that's why, as far as we're concerned, until Jake come into this truth, they're still enemies of the cross. They're still, agents. They're still in this world, and they're not fit to be among us, man. Here it is. We're talking about spiritual things, and all they're talking about is carnal things and adultery and, drug use, drug selling, just all manner of things that, you know, um, this communion with light can't, mix with, man. All right. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's what Paul and was preaching unto, the congregation in Corinth, man. And it applies today unto this very same day, man. We have nothing in common, man. That's why it says, be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, because there's no fellowship, man. Lightness has no fellowship with darkness, neither 2/3 with the hopeful elect and righteous men of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now, of course, we hope that they wake up and come into this truth. Then they could, have fellowship and be equally yoked with us. But until then, we're supposed to remain separate from 2/3 of Jake, man. All right, because they're like it says, that's that unclean thing. All right, and if you being around 2/3 Jake and you in this truth, man, guess what? That darkness can consume you, man. That their vibration can rub off on you easily, and Satan can get back on you, and you can fall back into the world, man. We've seen it happen in this truth, where guys who was coming into this truth, who was learning this truth, was fellowshipping with the brethren, outside of the fellowship with the brothers, they were out fellowshipping with guys in the world, man. And guess what? They yoked themselves back with the unbelievers, and guess what? They fell back into that darkness, man. You see? So we have no fellowship with these guys, man, until they prove otherwise, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, the Lord is all with that, and it's a righteous thing. And even guess what? King David had that sentiment, all right? And I'm gonna show you right here. This is what I was talking about yesterday at camp. This is Psalms 101, a psalm of David. I will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee, O Yahweh, will I sing. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Oh, when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart, meaning that he was going to walk perfectly in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So how can we be yoked together with a man whose thought process is not in walking with a perfect heart or walking wisely in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, but opposite of that, man? There's no communion there. There's no way that those two things can be in agreement because they're going in opposite directions. You see? It says, I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. You see? So even David is saying that anything that's wicked, he didn't want it. He didn't want it before his eyes. He didn't want it around him. Why? Because that vibration could cling onto you, man. You know? And when you're walking in the spirit, you don't want to be around shit like that. It vexes your spirit. It's irksome to the soul. Just like when a wicked person come around us and we're talking righteous things, it irks them to their spirit, man. So what fellowship are these two things to have? Absolutely none. You see, and King David is expressing that same sentiment. It says, a forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. You see, isn't that not what Paul was preaching to the Corinthians? That's why it's telling them, look, be ye separate. Don't touch that unclean thing. Don't be amongst these people that are caught up in all of this worldly behavior and, wickedness, man. Now, of course, we know wicked people, but we don't have fellowship with them. We don't have them within our circles. You don't have them even in your household, man, because you don't want that wickedness to be amongst you and around you. All right. It says, whoso privately slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that have an high look and a proud heart will I not suffer. And that's what 2/3 of our people have, man. They have a high look and a proud heart, man. And we know that one thing the Lord hate is a proud person. And we know that 2/3 of these niggas are out here proud as hell because they refuse to humble and serve and be obedient to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So we shouldn't have no dealings with these people, They shouldn't be around us. They shouldn't be sitting at our tables or serving among us or being around your family, man. You see? And back then, King David had the power as being king to find these people, to search them out, and to deal with them justly according to the law, man. You see? And spiritually, we should, we have that power spiritually too, but not in the sense that we can judge them and cut them off, but we can cut them off as far as not having any dealing with them and separating ourselves so that person is not around us, man. And you have that in this truth, man. There's particular, family members that you just totally know to cut off, man. Don't even be around them. And it might even be your own mother and father, man, because they refuse to come into this truth. They refuse to accept the fact that they're Israelites. They refuse to, walk in the ways of, truth. They refuse to separate themselves into this world. So, hey, some situations you just have to totally cut them off, man. Now, of course, if you see your parents, you honor your mother and your father, but if it's within your power, man, hey, don't even have any dealings with them, man, like that. You're not going off for doing that because you don't want to yoke yourself or be around these people that are unbelievers, man. It says mine eye shall be upon the faithful of the land. You see, that's what Ezra said. That the angel told Ezra, look, look for those that be like unto thyself. That's why we're constantly harping for the elect and looking for the elect, man. That's why this brotherhood, we just be around each other, man. We don't accept outsiders. We don't bring outsiders into the camp or into the fold or into the fellowship, man. It's not needed, man. They serve no purpose. All right, and vice versa. Hey, I don't want to be around them either, man. Not because I'm high and mighty, I feel like I'm better than them, but w- what's the point of being around each other, man? If they're not, look, we're only trying to be around those that serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Anybody else, man, hey, you can keep it pushing, all right? Because we want to always be around that righteous vibration. We want to be around those that are, searching and seeking and looking for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It says, mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, right? The elect ultimately, and that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. You see? And that's all that King David had, amongst him was the righteous and the faithful of Israel, man. He didn't have no wicked two-third non-believing Israelites amongst him, man. He had those that were faithful and honorable, just like us, man. We only want those around us that are faithful and honorable, man. You see? It says, he that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of Yahweh. You see? And that's what, ultimately is going to happen eventually, Now, of course, we don't have that power to destroy two-thirds and all the wicked Jake out of the land, but hey, they are being marked through the Spirit by not coming into this truth and denying Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They are going to be destroyed ultimately, but what we can do spiritually is avoid them, stay away from them, and have no dealing with them, man. You see, so King David was totally had the sentiment that you shouldn't know of not being unequally yoked with unbelievers, man. Separating himself from people like that and being separated from people in the world, and we should be in that same spirit, man. Don't be having these unbelievers around you or in your house. Of course, you go to work, and, Jake, two-third Jake is there, but hey, you just deal accordingly. You deal righteously. Hey, what's up, George? What's up, Johnny? What's up, D Ray? That's about it, man. You might have a little bit of conversation with them, but you should no way be hanging out with two-third niggas on the weekend, going to the bar or going to doing anything, you know, socially with anybody that's not in this truth, man. All right. That's the no-no, and that's a given. But I'm just doing this lesson to show you that even King David was in the spirit, man. Because you got a lot of these Israelite groups who will say, then this is why Great Millstone we don't get with any of these other camps, man. Because their doctrine is off. They're not walking in the perfect way. They're not, honoring Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and 100% truth and sincerity. They got a lot of, you know, high looks about them, pride. They refuse to be corrected. They're coming up some other way. There's, things about them that don't sit well with us that we don't want to have any fellowship whatsoever, man. Now, of course, we don't hate them. We don't want to kill them, but we, have a hatred for what they're teaching and the things that they do, but we don't hate them personally to where we want to put them to death. But we know that we have to be separated and not yoked with them, man. And they're not, we're not going to bring them into our house or bring them amongst us because they have different doctrines. That's why we don't go to these unity camps and all these other things because honestly, it's all going off, man. Scriptures say, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" So we're not in agreement. So therefore, we can't walk with them. But when we see them, hey, shalom, hey, we'll salute them and tell them to keep up the good, do what they got to do. But as far as being yoked together with them, we can't do those things, man. All right. Last precept, and I'm gonna roll. This is 1 Corinthians 5:7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Hamashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. All right. So that old leaven is, who you were before you came into this truth. All that wickedness and malice and, worldliness that you had in you before you came into this truth. Those things are supposed to be purged and flushed down the toilet so that you become that new unleavened lump, walking in this truth, walking in righteousness. All right. It says, therefore, let us keep the feast not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. You see, and two-thirds of our people haven't taken this step yet, man. So therefore, they can't feast among us. They can't be among us, man, until they come into this process of purging out the old leaven, man. All right. It says, I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators. Two-thirds of our people that are not in this truth, they're fornicators, man, spiritually and physically. Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world. You see, can't be amongst Jake. Jake's still smoking weed. Jake committing adultery. Jake stealing. They're using drugs. They're selling drugs. They're doing all manner of wickedness, man. So what the hell are we supposed to be amongst them for, man? All right. It says, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye needs go out of the world. You see. So we can't be amongst these guys, man, because they still have all these manner of leaven within them, you know. So we can't be amongst them, man, because like I said, hey, those demons and these different demons that are on them, you know, the demon of covetousness, being extortioners and idolaters, is still on them, and they can rub off on you, man. To where next thing you know, you like, yeah, you know what, man, yeah. And you start to cleave onto them dudes, man, and they pull you out of the truth and bring you back into the darkness, man. So we are supposed to be separate, be amongst like-minded men, and continue to be in the spirit and grow. It says, "But now have I written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, with such an one know not to eat." You see, and you have particular brothers that come into this truth that don't fully, purge out the leaven of that old nigga they were into the truth, and they bring it into this truth, man. You have to separate from them too, man. And eventually they're going to be kicked out of the camp, or they have to be separated from the body, man, because that shit is contagious, man. It's like a cancer, man. All right. You don't want that around. So that the people like that have to be identified and separated, man. Just like family, the people of the world and people in your family are still walking in the spirit, man. You got to know how to deal and how to operate amongst them. You definitely don't bring them around the body, and you definitely don't have them in your house. You definitely don't be yoked together with them, man, because it can be dangerous for you. Okay. It says, "For what have I do to judge them also that are without? Do ye not judge them that are within?" You see, so you should be able to righteously judge the situation, man. You know what type of person you should be around and you shouldn't be around, man. All right. And if you don't have that type of judgment and that discernment, and you mingling amongst these wicked niggas in the world and doing things amongst these people in the world, then you're a reprobate, man, because you don't know how to judge situations, man. All right. You should be able to, judge people that are outside of this world, and people that and brothers that are in this truth, if they're walking un unrighteously, man. You know, it says, but them that are without the Most High judgeth. Now, yeah, of course, you don't judge them like, oh, I'm gonna put you to death, but you judge it in the situation like, look, I need to stay from around this guy, man. All right. Because you don't want to be around one of these niggas in the world, and they being wicked, they doing all type of bullshit, robbing, stealing, killing, and then when the Lord bring His judgment upon him, you around him, some niggas that he might have robbed come around to kill him, and you with him, you gonna get caught up in that judgment too, man, because you had no business being amongst a guy of that caliber, man. You see, when you walking amongst the righteous, hey, you good, man. You're gonna be protected. They're not having karma coming, or if you want to call it that, or judgment coming back around on them, because they're walking in this world, man, in all manner of wickedness and fornicating and covetousness. Here it is. This that's my cousin though, man. He cool, but he in the world. This nigga out here committing adultery, and the dude whose wife he's committing adultery with finds out, and he comes to smoke that dude, and you with him, and you get caught up in that judgment, man. So you got to be wise, man. You see? It says, "But them that are without the Most High judgeth, therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person." You see? And King David held that same sentiment, man. That's why I read that Psalms 101 chapter, man. So I just wanted to go into that, man, and put those together. And Lord willing, you were edified. Lord willing, it gives you more of a perspective of why Paul wrote these things and why these things are necessary, all right? Just like the scriptures say, the Lord is holy, be ye therefore holy. And that word holy means to be separate. All right. And we have to walk separately from these people that are in the world, man, because, you know, um, they're not in this truth. They're not serving the Lord. So therefore, you shouldn't be amongst them, man. So, hey, with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Shai. Until the